What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. We're a niche channel reserved for the best. It's super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at 6th_element_comics. Yeah, because comic books are the sixth element of hip hop. There it is, y'all. There it is. What's good? Sixth element of hip hop. We are busting it out tonight. What's good? I'm your host, Reno Noir, and your co-host, as always, Stu Dog, is actually late. He's got issue with the family. Yeah, man. Grandson in the ER, got to take care of the family, so that's number one. But yeah, y'all, we got a good show regardless. Y'all already know what it is. You know how we get down. We got to chop it up. We're gonna talk about some good shit, man. We got the we got some unboxings. Boy, do we have some unboxings. We got a few new joints. Cobra La, yeah, boy. We're gonna get into that. Dr. Doom, Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark's, Dr. Doom, Donald Trump. I mean, what am I talking about? Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about. Yeah, man, we're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that nonsense at all. We're not even going to get into that. Chris Hemsworth, though, shares new health updates about his Alzheimer's diagnosis. New Daredevil footage has me hopeful that Marvel is giving Matt Murdock a much-needed powers upgrade. And yeah, man, this new Marvel, well, you know, the theory pinpoints how Dr. Doom and Tony Stark are the same person. What? But hey, it's the MCU. Captain America, Brave and the Bold star Giancarlo Esposito reveals that he is, the struggling Marvel film headed for another round of reshoots. He said, I'm actually going back next week to do a little more. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it is a thing. We're going to talk about Cobra La because we got some unboxings. We're going to show that Nemesis Immortal. That boy is dope. Moon Knight Season 2 and Oscar Isaac's MCU future addressed by the Marvel show director. And somehow 2024 became the year of Gambit. We're going to talk about that. Leaked Spider-Man 4 title, plot, synopsis, and cast. Sound too good to be true. We'll see. And yeah, man, the Russo brothers, man, you already know, were already working on a new project with Robert Downey Jr. when they got the call to return for Avengers Doomsday. I bet you didn't know that. And so, yeah, man, it's too much good stuff, but I got to roll up. I'm sorry. I've had a stressful ass day. It's been a long one. You know, a lot of issues with the fam, with the peeps. So we getting it together, though. And listen, if you're upset about Trump, don't be. If you're not upset, cool. But if you're upset about Trump, don't be. Because I'll tell you why. Doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't matter who the president is. You know, all these morons out there running to vote for their favorite celebrity. Doesn't matter, dude. You think the president's gonna decree that the economy get better and then it just does magically? So people act like. They really act like that shit. They act like, oh, this president's gonna just change the economy. Yep, he's just gonna get, as soon as he becomes the president, the economy's gonna get better. Just because he said he wants it to. Because he told us he was gonna. But they're eating the pets, you guys. Come on. They're eating the pets. You know, the dogs, the cats, they're eating them. You know how it goes. It's what they do. It's what they do. If you are saying MAGA, you got to tell me when America was ever great for anybody that wasn't white. Shout out to Slade. Peace, peace, peace. The House and the Senate, man. I mean, that's it. That's where it goes down. That's where the decisions get made and the bullshit happens. I mean, that's what we're talking about. The Congress, the Senate, these are the guys that make the policies. These are the guys that make the decisions. These are the guys that elect the presidents. You know what I'm saying? Don't be fooled. They give us the choice. I mean, choice. They give us two candidates. Where do you think those two candidates come from? They choose them and they give them to us and they say, all right, now you guys can pick. If this was democracy, if we were really able to elect and nominate anybody we wanted, that'd be a different story. But that's not the case. They give you two candidates. We pick you one for red, one for blue. Now you choose out of those two, and then we'll, let you think that you're living in a free democracy where you get to pick your leader. Tell me what fucking government or tell me what person in power is going to just give up that power. Come on. They're going to think of a way to keep the power and let you think that they gave it to you. But I digress. Man, we got some good shit. Look at this. Finally, my man, the Joker is my favorite villain, and I am a big, big fan of the Joker. And Todd McFarlane finally made a OG, Silver Age original version of the Clown Prince of Crime, and I couldn't be happier. I mean, I've been wanting this just original, just a plain original Joker from the comics back in the day. Not all these fucking, I don't know, all these iterations, man. He's done all these different iterations. He finally gave us the OG, and I couldn't be happier. Can't wait to get into that. Speaking of OG, and yeah, he'll give us the Dark Knight Joker, to this guy, which, hell yeah, we got the Dark Knight Battle Damage, The Dark Knight Returns, and the bad boy himself. Yo, shout out to John Jang, okay? John Jang is one of the best comic book cover artists to ever do it, and he's been on this show. We've interviewed him, and he's a good friend. He's a cool dude, and he did the artwork on this box. How cool is that? Shout out to Jang, man. Shout out to Jang, boy. But yeah, that's Nemesis Enforcer from Cobra Law. And I don't care if you don't like Cobra Law, because I fuck with Cobra Law. Because I was 9 years old when the movie came out, and that shit was cool to me then. It's silly as fuck. The whole Cobra Law thing. A lot of people got mad about it, and I can understand if you were older and you were like, hey, what's this shit? But if you're a little kid, bro, you're like, yo, that's cool. And, sci-fi, it's what I'm all about. Can we bring back for another interview John Jang? I mean, he's a busy dude. I got to really appreciate everyone we've had on this show. From Pharaoh Monch to the dude from Belly, Jimmy Palmiotti, John Jang, Jeru the Damager. Who else? Dude, it goes on. We've had a lot of people that we're just honored, bro. We're just honored to have had, man. And but they're busy. They're important folks. I mean, how I ever got Pharaoh Monch on this show, but I did it. And getting him back, well, that's another story. But no, they did have a great time. They always have a great time. But I'll tell you guys one thing: when Six Element blows up and we start getting some real engagement and some real numbers, then we'll definitely be having more interviews, more celebs, and more people that we want to see and talk to. But that's what it's all about. It's all about engagement. I've literally had people that I've asked for interviews come back. Well, their agents and managers come back and say, we really like your stuff. We really like your channel. We really like what you're doing. We're totally down, but the engagement just isn't there yet. What am I gonna do? I can't argue with that. But I mean, the engagement isn't there. I know why it's not there. It's not because the show isn't great. It's not because people don't love us. It's because, and it's not because YouTube doesn't share our stuff and push us because they don't like us. YouTube doesn't push my channel and the video because I do live stream only. And I know you guys, a lot of people do live stream. They do live stream on other platforms like Twitch and stuff like that. And then they show clips of that on YouTube. If they live stream from YouTube, there's some sort of probably celebrity or somebody that already has a following of some sort from another platform. Even if they're just a YouTuber. But yeah, you know, YouTube is not a live stream platform. It's a video platform. If I really wanted this channel to blow up, I'd just start doing videos and I wouldn't do live. But I love the live. I love the live. I love it live. That's just how I get down. I like the show. I like the vibe. I like the entertainment. I like talking to people live. You know, all that good stuff. And that's how we get down. But I know what to do. I know what to do. I know what to do when it's time to do it. And we'll blow up. And when that happens, when I'm ready to make that switch and hit that switch, you're going to see. Sorry, guys. I had to roll one. I'm sorry. I've had a rough fucking week. All right, you son of a bitch. It's a Zippo. Fucking Zippo. Appreciate that, Slade. You and Stu Dog are the best on YouTube. I mean, listen, I don't want to brag, but no. If I really do 1,000% believe that if YouTube pushed our channel, we would exponentially blow up. But they don't push the channel, not because they don't like it, just because it doesn't fit into the algorithm. Bottom line, I don't play the algorithm game. I just haven't yet. I can and I will, and I know how to do it. I just haven't yet. It's a lot. If everybody could do it, if everybody did it, if it was easy, yeah, that's what, if it was easy, everybody would do it all the time. Let's hop into these goodies. First thing I'm gonna show y'all is this bad boy. Before we get into the good, listen, we got so much good shit to talk about, but I'm gonna show you these goodnesses real quick, because this is my favorite part of the show where we do our unboxings. I love this. I think I don't know if Stu's. Hold on. He said his grandchild. Yeah, his grandson was taken in an ambulance to the hospital. So that's where Stu is right now. I don't think Stu is going to make it tonight to this show, but we are praying for him and definitely keeping that energy and putting that energy out there for Stu Dog. Everybody pray for Stu Dog and his children and grandchildren and family. Because yeah, I don't know the deets yet, so I'm not going to get into it, but yeah. All right. Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. This is the battle damaged joint. It's really cool looking. I don't have the regular one. But check this guy out. This is fucking cool. Let me get it focused there. I love this figure. It's a Dark Knight, so it's the kind of fat version of Batman, you know, the Frank Miller version. He's got this really cool, like, elasticy lasso looking thing. Well, the Batarang deal. I dig it. How they got the hands set up to hold the lasso like this. It's just this. I don't know. I keep calling it a lasso. I'm sorry, but yeah, the hands are the hands are shaped to hold the string. It's a real string, like it's a real, and it's stretchy too. It's a little bit stretchy. It's a little bit bendy. It's really cool, and but you know, it's fixed. It doesn't really unravel or anything like that. But his hand is open here, so you can like hold the looped. The effect is just really cool. And then he comes with this. How cool is that? The Dark Knight Streetlight. The Dark Knight Streetlight. That fucking streetlight is so cool. I don't know why it's so cool, but it's so cool. Looks so good on the shelf. Really great thing to add in there, Todd McFarlane. He said, you know, No, he can't really swing from it, but yeah, he can swing from it. Hell yeah. But he's also, if you notice, they call him battle damaged. You know what? Did I get the chase? Is this the chase? This might be the chase. I don't know. I'll have to check it out. This might be the chase. I don't know. So Todd McFarlane will do. You guys are like, what is the chase? So in collectibles, especially in like you know, things where it's like it's sealed and you don't know what's in it, kind of thing. There'll be that, but then there's also what they call a chase, meaning you order this and you might get a special version, right? Like they all look a certain way, like the figure looks a certain way, but then he'll do one in like black and white, for example. It'll be all painted in black and white, and that'll be the chase. Usually it's not that boring. Usually it's something pretty cool. Like this one is like all dark and like has like dark shading all over him. So he looks like he's really like under a street lamp, actually. That's really cool. It might not be the chase, but he definitely doesn't look battle damaged to me, like at all. Yeah, bro, this is battle damaged blue. Okay, I don't know. That's how he looks on the cover. He's all damaged up. His shit's all ripped up and shit like that. There's not a single rip on here. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to look into that. He's cool. He's got some really cool paint apps. You see the dark blue in the background and like the gray on the front, like all sorts of lighting paint job, man. It's a really cool paint job. You generally don't see these on these $25, 7-inch figures, but McFarlane's been stepping it up. He's really been stepping it up lately. Not that they were ever shitty, but he's been stepping it up on the cool factor quality, Moving right along, because we're kind of keeping it going, guys. I'm not going to go super into like, this is how his neck bends, this is how his arm bends, his head looks this way. I mean, come on, you know how a figure works. But I'm just going to show them to you because we got to get into the other stuff too. But here we go. This is Joker. This is Silver Age Joker. Super, super excited for this one. And it's a cool box, by the way. Look at the box just for a second. Take that in. It's not black, right? Normally, the McFarlane boxes are all black like this. They look just like this. This one, he did some color. He's got a gradient, thing with some like a teal, turquoise. The lighting is kind of washing it out. Turn it down a little bit. But yeah, it's a really nice box. And then inside, you can see some cards and shit in the background. Line them out. There he is. Love the back of the box. Love that picture on the back of that box. That is so cool. And that's definitely going to be displayed. Sorry. I display my boxes. Y'all already know. Cannot wait. There's some cool shit coming out. The Superman 2025. They've got a new line too with like a video game version of like Superman. He's got like long hair and like pixelated paint, like a paint job, like he's pixelated. That's coming out. The whole it's him, Flash, Batman, and Aquaman. They're all like pixelated. So that's pretty cool when that's coming out. All right, there we go. So he got the typical card as always. He's got also his a stand and a digital card. It says digital. I don't know what this is. This digital thing. McFarlane Digital Toys. I don't know what that is. McFarlane Digital, and it's got a scratch off. No idea what that is. Badass card right there. I love this version of the Joker. Okay, you didn't know. I didn't make that clear. I really, 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 really love this version of the Joker. All right. All right. Got to get him loose. And it looks like the same mold. It looks like the same mold. Holy shit. All right, so we got hella Jokers here. All right, so check these Jokers out first. These are actually some reuse here. This one's unique. I thought it was based on I thought this was going to be the same mold. Very different mold. This was my currently best favorite Joker. It's like washing out really bad, so you can't see it. There he is. That was my favorite Joker. Now this new one is my favorite Joker. There it is. Because that is, to me, the iconic. To me, that's iconic Joker. That's the iconic Joker right there. Like the real, just fucking look at that. The hairstyle is cool as shit for Joker. Man, I dig the shit out of this. And I am happy to say that it is a completely different sculpt from that Joker and this Joker, as similar as they are, but they're really not. This Joker too. Now I just noticed something for the first time. Ha. These are the same body mold, same everything. They're just painted differently. Never noticed that until now. And of course, they have different heads, which you can't see because the camera ain't focusing for shit. There you go. See, they're not. That's not the classic Joker. Look at them. I mean, they're cool and they're creepy and they're jokery, but it's not the classic. It's not the classic Joker. Like that's Joker. Like that's fucking Joker. All right, and he comes with his hand has cards in it. You did see that, right? Hang on, man. And then he's got, his little flower, the paint, everything is good. There's no paint apps on the cards. They're not. I would love to see them paint the cards up. I may go ahead and do that. And he also comes with a cane. Oh, hang on. This cane is cool. This cane is peak. It has a little head of Joker on it. That's crazy. That's crazy. And it's a long one too. Man, this is fire. This is fire. I mean, I'm psyched. I love Joker. And there's this little, I don't know why he's got a hand with like a dead, like a rubber fish in it. Just to be funny. Set that down, slide that there. And then last but definitely not least, Nemesis Enforcer. No, Nemesis Immortal. Cobra Law came out 1989. Jokerfish came out 1989. The movie, G.I. Joe the movie. And it was totally like sci-fi. Here it is. Here's the box. Like I showed you, the art, John Jang, all that good shit. I've already taken him out. I'm going to take him out of the box collector. I do not leave him in the box. I don't see the point. It's not an antique. It's not vintage. I'm displaying it. Fuck that. Off top, he comes with an extra head. This is a modern. So this is a modern. Let me show you this extra head they give him first before we hop into the whole thing. They, I love it. I do like it, but it goes against why I collect these. So here it is. I'll let it focus. Come on, bitch. There. So he's got this cool sort of like mohawk down the side, and then a cool face sculpt with like a cool, I don't know, Klingon. I don't know, like it's like a cool, but it doesn't look like the 80s toy. The reason I collect these is because for nostalgia. I mean, I like the ones that look like the 80s toys, the 80s toys that I played with as a kid. Like, that's it. Like, if it doesn't have that, it doesn't do anything for me. Like, these new figures and stuff that they make up, and the made up figures and the cool, like, they're cool. They look great. They're really cool looking. But like, I don't see the point. Like, I don't see the point of collecting a toy that looks cool. I'm not a little kid. I'm not on the floor playing with toys. Like, I'm displaying this because it's like an iconic thing that is that's why I want iconic. Like, I want it to be instantly recognizable. You know exactly who that character is. You remember where you were when you saw it. Like, you remember like playing with it as a kid, like all of that. And yeah. This is the head they gave him. That looks just like the head from the original figure. Other than that, he's got a similar color palette to the original figure. Other than that, he's pretty different in most every way. You can see that chest diamond on his chest. I chromed it out. You really can't tell on camera, but y'all know I chrome shit out, and that was already silver, so I just chromed it out with the liquid chrome, which I do to all my figures. And he's just awesome. Now, he's really big. He's bigger than Road Pig. He's probably the biggest. He's slightly bigger than Road Pig, about the same size. Road Pig's fatter for sure. But yeah, he's a larger figure. He's got wings that you can remove, and then you can put on a more 80s Cobra La looking thing here. I don't have, there it is. And I got it. It bends around and you can like adjust it and everything and like, mold it, however you want to shape it. So it's dope as fuck. He's got these like forearm little blade things and like a horseshoe crab pauldrons. Really goofy and kind of ugly holster things for his sword things. These leg holsters just look like shit. I'm not even gonna front. They kind of look like shit. The swords are silly looking. I don't know, but I guess they're cool. They definitely fit the Cobra La motif. They'll always be sheathed on my display. Maybe not. I don't know. At some point he may. But I like the forearm blades. Like, that's cool. Yeah, he's got the OG looking head. I've heard complaints about his wobbliness. He doesn't wobble. He's not really that loose or anything. The joints, the elbows, and knees and all that are very, very, very tight, like overly tight. I don't like them when they're that tight. Like, I feel like I'm breaking it if I bend it. Because they're double jointed. One of these elbow joints will bend, but when you try to bend the second one, like on this arm, it don't want to bend that second joint. And I feel like I'm definitely going to break that if I keep bending it. So, and I've heard that is pretty common with this figure. So those are the kind of drawbacks. Dude, he's got fucking claw feet. That shit is peak, bro. And the sculpting and all that stuff on the body parts are really, really well done. I really do like this figure overall. I like it more than I don't like it. I'm not as upset about it as a lot of people that I know are. For whatever reasons, I didn't find it to be that off-putting. Like, I'm super excited about having it. He definitely reminds me of the original figure. And for me, guys, that's the goal. That's why I collect. That's why I do G.I. Joe Classified. Because it is like nostalgia. It's like a nostalgia hit or whatever. And, dopamine hit or whatever. And it's because of the figure. It's because it's gotta look like the 80s joint. Otherwise, I don't get anything out of it. That's just me. The wings are ridiculous. The biggest complaint about the figure, you guys are looking at these wings. What is this? What wing is that? What animal, what creature Why did they do this? Why the fuck did they make these weird ass wings that you can't make look good? Like, what the fuck is this? What asshole designed this? Really not sure about that. But, you know, if you tweak them and freak them right, that's the whole thing. Same thing with Road Pig. He comes with a face mask. If you put it on him, then you don't see the goofy, gumpy Shrek cartoon ass face that they gave him. With this, if you bend these right and sit them right, I can make it look pretty cool. Like, I think that looks pretty cool. It looks decent at least. It's not the worst. It's not as bad as like a full extended wing looks, but even still. But I was thinking maybe trying to customize. I would take this whole piece off and reattach this here. Like, take this whole piece out. Like, let's take this arm and toss it. What is that for? I really want to see how that looks. But I don't see any safe way to do that without destroying it. So I won't be doing that because I'm not one of these guys that buys a bunch of these shits. I buy one of each. A couple things I have doubles, but not on purpose. Not on purpose. So, but overall, man, fucking hell of pleased. I dig it a lot. I like it a lot. It's awesome. He doesn't come with much art in the way of accessories. Like I said, he's got the two different back pieces, and he's got these two swords, and then the two heads. That's what he comes with. That's what he comes with. And again, the head, really cool head. Like, I would totally rock that, except for that's not the 80s version. That's the 80s version. So it doesn't do anything for me to have this. Now, if I had two of these, one of them would definitely, you know, have this head. So you can do that. You can buy two of them and put one head on the other. All right, cool. We did that. That's the unboxing. That's the goodness for today. I'm super fucking excited about all of it. Not really mad about any of it, which is great. Few pros, few cons. More pros than cons, and that's always good. Norin rad, salute. What's good? What's good? And yeah, but Cobra Law, just to sort of like touch on that real quick, because we are going to get more Cobra Law characters. I really want to see Pythona. That's the character I really want a figure of. I really want a Pythona figure, but definitely we'll be getting Globulus next, which is the guy here in the picture with the green arm and the eye patch and the bald head. Obviously, that's Nemesis Enforcer right up at the top, and you can see how his, you know, head, his, you know, the head shape used to look. But notice the wings. Those are normal wings. Okay, I wasn't tripping. Those are normal wings. Those are not anything like this at all. Can someone make this make sense? What is that? What creature? Why? Who? For what? Could this fly? Bro. Looks like Jeepers Creepers, but not even as good. Like, Jeepers Creepers is way better. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't want to take up too. I digress. But yeah, man. Like, that's clearly, you know, the wings were fucking way better. Yeah, I definitely want them all. Pythona is the cool chick here with the purple on and the ponytail and the ball head and the cloak. And then there's these red guys. You see two bug-eyed red dudes on either side flanking Pythona there, and those are the sort of troopers, which sadly, knowing the way they're doing it, we'll probably get them before we get Pythona. We'll probably get Globulus, then the troopers, then Pythona in that order. And I'd like to see it go Pythona, Globulus, and then the trooper. But if they did the trooper last, it would be lackluster. They want to kind of have a you know, go out with a bang, and I'm sure that's the way they're going to do it. We'll probably get Globulus next, and then the trooper guys, and then Pythona. That's what I predict. But yeah, Cobra Law, It's an ancient civilization, you know, kind of like Shangri-La, right? Cobra-La. Once at one time ruled the earth, right? But it retreated to a hideaway in the caves in the Himalayas. Why? But yeah, you know, why not like a jungle or like a place where snakes or serpents would be? Why would they be in the snow and in the cold? Not any place anything you know, serpent like would be. But Shangri-La, the Himalayas, you know, the whole thing. But yes, right now it's ruled by Globulus. You know, at the time, it's a Himalayan base buried under an avalanche, and basically you had there's a whole Transformers thing. Yeah, millennia ago, you had Unicron came to Earth and threatened to devour it. When he was stopped in his tracks by the citizens of Cobra-La. Cobra-La threatened Unicron with a metal-eating spore, and an agreement was struck whereby Cobra-La would go into seclusion and watch over the development of the human race, occasionally helping it along. Once the humans reached sufficient numbers and advanced technology, Cobra-La would send for Unicron, who would then return to take the humans as slaves to maintain his body, leaving the planet to be ruled once again by Cobra-La. So they're sort of using the humans as a way to kind of like, okay, don't fuck with us. We'll give you these. We'll help you with the, you know, kind of thing. And so Cobra-La remained in seclusion in the Himalayas, becoming a legend to the inhabitants of the area. Globulus became the last leader of Cobra-La in the present day, and you know he hates mechanical things and creations and all that. But you know he made use of several Decepticons who crashed in the Himalayas. Though you know he gave them organic pretender shells that concealed their robotic forms. And in 1978, the adventure team consisting of G.I. Joe, Joel Colton, Atomic Man, and local Chakpa were in the Himalayas on a mission when they, you know, were attacked by a Chinese fighter plane. But they were then saved by a sudden arrival of several strange organic planes flying, you know, organic flying things together with Nemesis Enforcer, our boy, who they call Nemesis Immortal, that we just unboxed due to some, you know, licensing thing, and the Decepticon Bludgeon. And then the local dude Chuck Pa recognized, you know, the new arrivals as being the men under the mountain, Cobra-La, and there was, you know, no time to flee. Bludgeon killed Atomic Man, and further, you know, the arrival of Pythona and the Royal Guard come and save the two of them as she wanted them kept alive. Over the next 25 years, Colton was kept prisoner in the cell in Cobra-La. And then, you know, the whole thing with Unicron coming back and the preparations being made by Cobra-La for helping Unicron, but then Globulus has also cultivated the supply of the metal-eating spore in case, you know, he rebelled against them and didn't go with, you know, didn't keep his end. But then this signal also attracted the attention of General Hawk and the Autobots, right, and led Optimus Prime and General Hawk and the Joes and Flint and Firewall and Cosmos to invade Cobra-La, where together with Colton they disrupted those plans and helped by Pythona, who was uneasy about the Decepticons. So she actually was kind of like helping them. And later she used the metal-eating spore to destroy Unicron. It's a whole thing. You won't see this in the movie. It's comic shit. Later, there was a Sunbow animated series where they did revisit the Cobra-La stuff. But mostly in comics and stuff like that. But yeah, that's where Nemesis comes from. That's where the whole Globulus comes from. That's where everybody comes from, and that's what's up with Cobra-La. But what we all came to hear, the MCU theory that pinpoints how Dr. Doom and Tony Stark are the same motherfucker. Now, Marvel teases that Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom in Avengers Doomsday, but keeping the plot details totally hidden and making people, you know, think up all kinds of shit and theories and stuff. We've heard a Marvel comic writer tell us that in his comic, The Ultimates issue number 4, he was going to explain how Robert Downey Jr., how Tony Stark, how that same guy would be Doctor Doom, and how it wouldn't be stupid, right? And I read the comic. I totally get it. They used Reed Richards instead of Tony Stark, but it's multiversal stuff, and it'll all make sense, and it'll all be cool. And if they do it right, and if they do it anything like Jonathan Hickman's comic, where we're golden. And you got the Russo brothers, and you got Robert Downey Jr. I mean, this is not the Eternals. This is not the Marvels. This is not no bullshit. This is going to be a decent movie, I think. I believe. It definitely has all the fucking ingredients. But ever since it was announced that Robert Downey Jr. is set to play Doctor Doom in the next phase of the MCU, the biggest question has been, how will this work? And unsurprisingly, Marvel hasn't explained shit about, the man who was so beloved when he played Iron Man and made, his last appearance dying in Avengers Endgame, now going to be playing the villain fighting against the good guys in Avengers Doomsday. And everybody's supposed to love it. The lack of explanation for how the main villain in Avengers Doomsday, who is also the main hero in the first phase of the MCU, means that Marvel is clearly intentionally keeping things under wraps, and they could, they know that people are going to develop shit, and keeping how this is all going to work, under wraps also means some sort of twist is involved. The reason why they wouldn't want us to know, and otherwise, it would simply be, as simple as saying, actually, this isn't Tony Stark, and the audience will never see his face behind the mask, right? Simple, right? Like, that would be easy. And that's what I thought at first. And I think that's what, is the common, if you weren't, just totally not thinking. But like, yeah, if you thought about it, you would assume it's Doctor Doom. You don't see his face. It's Robert Downey Jr. This is one of the best actors, really, that we've ever had. Just period in Hollywood. He's one of the best actors, it turns out. Definitely one of the best at accents and voices. If he didn't want you to know it was him talking in that mask, you would have no idea. Definitely wouldn't sound anything like Tony Stark. That being said, if that was the case, they would have probably fucking said so by now. Instead, it's up to the internet sleuths to try and figure out what's happening here. And that's how, had all these theories popping up. And some theories have been more fleshed out than others. Some are absurd. Some are ridiculous. Some look, make a lot of sense. And one theory, though, that is catching on certainly sounds like it could be indeed the answer. And if the theory isn't 100% correct, spot on, it's probably close to the mark, or at least partially for sure. So how will Tony Stark and Doctor Doom could be the same, the same, one and the same person? The most popular theory at the moment has been pushed by a Reddit user named Just Thomas 236. And Just Thomas 236's theory especially makes sense since Marvel fans have already seen a different version of what he believes will happen. And if, in fact, there was a variation of it done in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, the comic, the Ultimates #4, and other shit that we've already seen. And the theory that's been spun up is that when Doctor Doom first makes his appearance in Fantastic Four First Steps, that's where he's going to first appear. He's going to fight and lose to Reed Richards and the Klan, right? He will then have to flee from the heroes who will, who coincidentally, are located in this other, part of the multiverse, right? In this futuristic 60s, right, universe. And so in order to flee from the good guys, he sends only his consciousness using the Darkhold out into the multiverse, and it will eventually, find and land on the corpse or, no longer inhabited body of Tony Stark. Doom will somehow possess Stark and presumably repair whatever damage was done to his body because he's been dead for quite a while. And the now arisen Tony Stark body, he will wage war against the Avengers in this new universe and will, it would seem, also have to fight the Fantastic Four again, who have chased him from their universe, who will probably end up being in Avengers Doomsday with the Avengers somehow, because that's just what they're doing. Pedro Pascal. Not only is this theory born from watching Doctor Strange take over his own corpse using the Darkhold in order to fight the Scarlet Witch. If you remember, same thing happened. There's other comic stories where one character has taken over the body of another. Many, many stories, especially, in Marvel. Interestingly enough, those stories also involve Doctor Doom being the one doing it. More than once, more often than not. And the most famous time that he did it was when he took over Wolverine. But the story involving an X-Man instead of an Avenger, that's just, that's semantics. That could be anybody. So yeah. The theory is that Doom will be possessing Tony Stark's body in Avengers Doomsday using the Darkhold to escape the death of, in his own universe, and we will see the original Doom in the Fantastic Four movie, right? By, some other actor is going to play Victor Von Doom in the Fantastic Four movie, is the theory, right? That it won't be Robert Downey Jr. as Doom in the Fantastic Four movie. And that's integral to this theory. That's very important. And I think that's pretty much understood, that Downey is coming for Avengers Doomsday, not Fantastic Four. So Downey's not in Fantastic Four. Galactus, we know, is Shia LaBeouf, and God, I hope they don't botch it by not having Norrin Rad in there. If you're gonna have Shia LaBeouf, you have to have Norrin Rad. There's no universe or situation ever where Shia LaBeouf was the Silver Surfer without Norrin Rad also being at the same time. So don't be stupid. That being said, Galactus is a huge entity, and Doom, Galactus, Fantastic Four have always been synonymous. They've always been, in the same books. So this theory really holds up. It really stands to reason. In Jim Valentino's Guardians of the Galaxy number 24 back in 1992, Doom and most of the rest of the Earth 691 did battle with an army called the Martian Masters. Doom fought alongside the Avengers and survived the battle, but was badly wounded. Later, he revealed that he was able to transplant his consciousness into the skeleton of Logan, who had somehow been killed, in that same war against the Martian Masters. And so while the rest of that particular storyline was a more goofy storyline than anyone would like to have, see in a movie, it does show that Doctor Doom, who is, conversant in both the most advanced technology available and magic. He's a magician and a scientist, equally as powerful in both realms. That's what makes him, so powerful. That's why Doom is like a god, because he masters both worlds, right? And so it's the kind of person who could wield the Darkhold and pull off this kind of possession and man, a Tony Stark. And it's something that longtime Marvel fans wouldn't be skeptical about happening. It would be something that any comic book reader would be completely comfortable with, and they could easily get away with, and easily, do that and have it successful. The biggest obstacle to this theory realization is that if the MCU committed a little grave robbery, there would be some very angry Avengers Doomsday fans. It's not totally incorrect that bringing Tony Stark's corpse back to life after he died in such a heroic way won't sit well with most. A lot of people, feel like that would cheapen his death somehow, and like the importance of it and all this. But to them, I say read a comic book. Like, yeah, in like a movie only franchise, that'd be crazy. It's comics. In comics, this is how it goes. It's how it goes. On the other hand, if Marvel wants to, you know, sell that Doctor Doom is truly one of the most evil people in the multiverse, right? If they want to show that there's no line he won't cross, that he is Doom, right? He is the evil. He's not this, you know, relatable guy, this anti-hero. No, this is Doctor fucking Doom, the big bad of the Marvel universe. And so if they really want people to truly feel sad about Tony Stark all over again and hate Doom, it would be one way to do it. I mean, it would make a lot of sense. You know, that would evoke a lot of emotion. Reanimating Stark, you know what I mean? And so it serves a lot of purposes. It's very powerful. It's a powerful theory. You know, and at this point, it's all it is. It's a theory. You know, don't get mad. It's just a theory. Um, I've had other theories. I have other theories. You know, this theory is though very similar to the theory. The whole thing is about him translating his consciousness, transferring his consciousness. In the comic that I just read, the Ultimates #4, that the writer said, you know, he told us was going to have the answer. That's basically what it is. It's Doom's consciousness being put into Reed Richards' body, and then, you know, the body of Reed Richards becomes Doctor Doom, melts his face, puts the mask on him, and the whole nine. Replace Reed Richards with Tony Stark, and you have the exact story. And that and it does line up. It lines up with, so, but it's still parts of a theory, right? It's parts of a theory, and so I think, you know, at least in some way, that's what we're gonna get. We're gonna get some sort of consciousness transference of the real Doctor Doom into the Tony Stark body in some kind of way. Whether it's a zombie, whether he's a rotted corpse, whether it's a time travel thing, whether it's just a different Tony Stark from another universe, right? It's still in some way going to be that transference of consciousness into the Stark body. It's not going to be here's what people really are scared about. It's not going to be Robert Downey Jr. playing Victor Von Doom like was never Tony Stark. They're not doing that, y'all. Okay? Relax. That's not gonna happen. That's just silly. Like, that's not gonna happen. Now, are there certain filmmakers that I think would do some shit like that? Yeah, Russo brothers? No. But yeah, staying with the MCU, moving on. Daredevil. There's new MCU Daredevil footage that has me hopeful that Marvel is giving Matt Murdock a much needed powers upgrade. Matt Murdock's new power set in the MCU has been shown off for the first time in this footage from Daredevil Born Again. You know, after playing the Devil of Hell's Kitchen in his solo Netflix series, you know, the street level Daredevil and the Defenders back in 2015, 2018, Charlie Cox officially returned as Matt Murdock in the 2021 Spider-Man No Way Home movie. Was the last time. And so Cox's Daredevil is one of, you know, my favorite MCU heroes, one of the fan favorites. And so, you know, I was definitely happy to see him come back, and definitely happy that, you know, they're doing another Daredevil show, and that it's the same Daredevil from that, you know, Netflix shit. But Matt Murdock's Daredevil definitely had, you know, his acrobatic abilities and all that shit. And She-Hulk, we saw that. I mean, Echo. But, you know, Daredevil Born Again obviously will, you know, put more attention on Daredevil and his abilities. But my hopes for Daredevil's powers to take center stage have only been exacerbated by the release of the new footage from this series. Now, you know, he's officially in the hands of Marvel Studios. And I'm sure, you know, more of Daredevil's abilities are going to be displayed. And it makes me more excited, you know, about the MCU as a whole. You know, just rocking with Daredevil and seeing these characters that, you know, aren't your typical wokeries. But on October 30th, Marvel Studios released a short video comprising of the footage of the MCU's Disney Plus projects. We watched it on the show the other day. I showed it to you guys. In the remainder of 2024 and 25 and all that shit, you had Ironheart, Wonder Man, What If, season 3, and other stuff. Daredevil Born Again got a lot of attention. Definitely had some new footage. And I think that he's got some more superhuman abilities that will get more focus that never did on Netflix. On Netflix, he just was blind and he fought well, which cool. But Daredevil, he was very grounded, more of a human, just street level, just guy. But in the full scope of his powers in live action, we really have never explored. Because he does. He's not just a blind dude who fights. Most notably, I noticed that Marvel Studios look ahead footage saw the image of Matt Murdock in his Daredevil suit appear on the screen in the time variance authority from Deadpool and Wolverine. And in the scene, it looks like Daredevil uses his radar sense, all right, allowing him to hear great distances. And then the dolly zoom effect is sort of used to physically show what Matt Murdock experiences when he's using this power. And this effect was never used in Daredevil, in Netflix's Daredevil, anything like it. So it's very exciting because knowing that the MCU now has Daredevil and they're really gonna like put some time and money into it and stuff like that. And seeing that, man, it's exciting because Daredevil is a cool character. He's definitely underrated, but he's got some cool abilities, man. He's not like, dude, he's fucking I hope they do him justice. And if you want a great Daredevil run, a recent one was I think 2022 or 2021. Anyways, Chip Zdarsky's run on Daredevil, fucking dope. But yeah, one of my favorites. Chip Zdarsky, one of my favorite comic writers. But yeah, in conjunction with the release of Echo in 2024, Marvel Studios confirmed that the Defenders saga shows, including Daredevil, are canon to the MCU. But all of the shows, like even the Jessica Joneses and all that shit, Luke Cage, all that, Iron Fist, which I think got a lot of hate for good reason. But I hope that we get some new Iron Fist. Like, I want to see the real Iron Fist because they could have done it better. Like, put the mask on at least. But yeah, that would be awesome. But yeah, by the time Daredevil Born Again premieres in March 2025, it will have been 7 years since Daredevil season 3 ended. So meaning that there will have been plenty of time for Daredevil to grow and have evolved. And honed some powers and have some cool shit going on. So yeah, it'll be dope when they finally bring that off to fruition. Did y'all know Chris? I didn't know this. Chris Hemsworth shares a new health update after Alzheimer's findings. He shared like a personal update with his fans months after a sad diagnosis was issued. It seemed that he had begun regenerative stem cell therapy, posing for photos with a global leader in regenerative medicine and stem cell therapy, Dr. Adil Khan. If you're gonna have a fucked up disease, it's good to be a really, really rich celebrity. Yeah, because he'll get the best treatment that no one else would get. Experimental shit and all that good stuff. But he revealed that his career could be killing him as it was discovered that he had 2 copies of the APOE4 gene, which means that he's at least at higher risk of having Alzheimer's than the general populace, than the average schmo. But I don't know. Does that like it's it says that he's between 8 and 10 times likelier to develop Alzheimer's than the average general population, which I guess is pretty scary because that's a lot of times. 8 to 10 times is a lot. But man, it's not really a diagnosis. I think they're just saying that he's got the gene where he could have it. That's why I didn't hear about it. He was rumored to have developed Alzheimer's. No, he does not have Alzheimer's. He has a gene that means he could get Alzheimer's. Yeah. That's all it is. That's all it is. Captain America Brave New World star Giancarlo Esposito, my homeboy, who has not been on this show, but who I have met, and he has signed some stuff for me. Cool dude, man. Ever since Do the Right Thing, bro, he's fucking hilarious. He's a great actor. Lately, less hilarious and more serious, doing a lot of villains and shit lately. But in a surefire indicator of just how little confidence even the studio has in the upcoming Marvel Cinematic Universe entry, Captain America: Brave New World. The actor has confirmed that with just little over 3 months until the release, they're actually headed back for another round of reshoots. That's not a good sign. Esposito, who is set to appear as in the film as the first ever live action incarnation of Serpent Society member Sidewinder, revealed Brave New World's forthcoming production plans a November 7th speaking appearance at Penn State University. But at one point in the conversation, per a video recorded and shared by Twitter user Vino202, the actor took a moment to share his excitement towards the upcoming MCU debut, telling the crowd, "Sidewinder is a badass, and I'm so excited for this piece. And it'll be out February 25th, and I love working with Anthony Mackie." He continued in, his given date for the Brave New World's premiere, ostensibly being an accidental, slip of the whatever of his the full theatrical date, February 14th, 2025, rather than February 25th. It's February 14th, 2025. But yeah, he comes from like a New York theater scene, which we knew each other. That he said him and Anthony Mackie, we knew each other and did a few readings together. He said a few plays back in the day, and we have great synchronicity. But yeah, Sidewinder, he did a little interview. He's got a little thing on Twitter. Share that with y'all. Hang on, I'm gonna get to them comments too. What the hell? Come on, man. Work with me. Bow. Work with me. All right, check him out. He's talking about his role or his character, Sidewinder. He's a badass. I'm so excited for this piece. I'm so excited for this piece. It'll be on February 25th. And I love working with Anthony Mackie. He comes from the New York theater. We knew each other. Did a few readings together, plays. So we have great synchronicity. And I'm really grateful and thankful to all of you. I want to say that, part of your power, not only allow insight to come to you by inviting it, but harness the power within you. And all of you as an audience and those of you who are on social media, we're in a world where you have a voice, and to use it is to really take control of your own destiny, your own choices, and your own power. So the Captain America story, as much as it's been great to be on set to shoot it, I'm actually going back next week to do a little more. Yeah, so yeah, he's talking about going back into the, to do more reshoots. And from there he started to share some, the words of optimism and all that good stuff and the motivational stuff. But yeah, he said the Captain America story, as much as it's been great to be on set to shoot it, I'm actually going back to do a little bit more. So excited. I get to put the costume back on. Yeah, baby. There at the end. But yeah, and while irrelevant to this topic, Brave New World, if you're curious about the rest of the story there, he went on to recall how the road to his joining the MCU began. And he was like, I was doing a Comic-Con years ago, and someone asked me, about Professor X. And he was like, I love the character. I'd love to play Professor X. And he said, and I said, blow it up on social media. And so it just grew. And this is going back 4.5 something years. It grew and grew and grew and grew. Wound up at the Emmys last year. So I asked my manager, hey, do these guys at Marvel know that the fans want me to play Professor X? That's what the fans want. They laid it in my lap. These two sentiments expressed in humorous woe is me fashion. And he said, oh, they're aware. They're aware. End quote. So he said, so we run into one of the honchos at the Emmys and I say, oh, let's go talk to him. Esposito said, I go over and talk to him and blah, blah, blah. And the word comes back that they've done Professor X and they would love to do something new, but they were very aware. And if they were going to redo it, and there's been rumors that they may do it again, it won't be the same as what we've seen because they've seen Professor X for who he is. End quote. I think making him Professor X from like a different universe or something is fine. But it's like, why? You still have to have the regular Professor X anyway, just to hit the box. I don't know. Seems like a waste. I think he's better off playing a character that we haven't seen yet, which he's doing. And I'm glad that they're doing that. Sidewinder, not a character I really know much about because I'm not really a Captain America guy. I don't really know much about that whole world, Falcon and all that, like that whole universe. I've never read that stuff. I mostly read cosmic stuff and X-Men stuff. Is my sort of bag. But there's a lot going on with the Captain America, right now reshooting and stuff like that. So that movie's had some shaky ground. So who knows how that's going to turn out? We'll see. I hope it's good. But like I said, not a big Cap fan anyway. Falcon, like I don't care. But Harrison Ford as Rolk. We'll see. We shall see. Moon Knight Season 2 and Oscar Isaac's MCU future has been addressed by the Marvel show director. So we'll see what's going on with that. He said, you never know with Marvel. Nothing is called finished. There could be a film or he could go into another universe. Right now, nothing is in talks, but I definitely with Moon Knight. Hold on. Right now, nothing is in talks, but I definitely with Moon Knight. I would love to be involved in anything else. It could happen for sure. I have a great relationship with them, end quote. So probably some typos there. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's sort of a, response that Marvel is with Marvel, nothing is called finished. So basically that anything can be rebooted. Even if he knew something about a potential Moon Knight season 2, he wouldn't have been able to give a concrete answer, as he would likely be under an NDA from revealing anything, of course, until Marvel Studios reveals something, which they have not yet. Usually, Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios will make a formal announcement at a big event when giving new updates about an MCU movie or show. A big reason why they may have not revealed, anything about a potential Moon Knight season 2 is because it is likely not a formal lock yet. But the guy says the director of Moon Knight is right that Moon Knight's future is in the MCU and can go beyond his own TV show. It can be movies. It can be in other movies. Who knows? But Oscar Isaac's Moon Knight is definitely coming back for the What If season 3 the animated stuff, and Oscar Isaac will be voicing him, of course, making it, well, actually, no, I don't think he will be voicing him. Yeah, I don't. Come to think of it, those yeah. Oh my god, it's so bad. Those what if shows aren't even the real actors. That's so shady, bro. Like, first of all, you're gonna rob us of having what if animation, what ifs that were based on comic characters and comic stuff, and just make it based on MCU stuff. Like, it's an animated what if show. I was so excited. I thought we were gonna get comic book versions of stuff. It's all MCU versions of characters, but then you don't even give us the actual MCU actors to voice them. I don't watch them. I the first what if was decent. The second one, I hated. I hated it. Hated it. But anyway, from there, Oscar Isaac, could easily appear in any of the upcoming, Avengers movies, Doomsday, Secret Wars. I would love to see him in Secret Wars. I think Secret Wars will probably bring a lot of characters together because of Secret Wars. And it feels, likely as those films will be the biggest installments for the multiverse saga. But, if the long time speculated Midnight Suns project finally comes to fruition, that would be a natural place, for Moon Knight to pop up. And oh man, wouldn't it be great if that's why they're not talking about they're not doing a Moon Knight season 2, because they're doing Midnight Suns. That'd be fucking dope. Moon Knight's, one of the Midnight Suns, man. That'd be fucking awesome. But given how, the Moon Knight finale ended, there's definitely more stories to be told with Mark Spector, Stephen Grant, as well as the newly introduced alter Jake Lockley, who turned around and shot your boy in the MCU. And, at this point, it wouldn't be too shocking if, MCU or Marvel Studios and Disney Plus, try to pursue Moon Knight season 2 sometime after the multiverse saga, as they're putting their focus on finishing that game-changing story arc. And until then, you can always, watch it on Disney Plus and catch your Moon Knight there. A lot of great Moon Knight comics out right now too, by the way. Let me holler at the boys right now. Shout out to Slade and Rad Norin. The Muse. Oh yeah, Muse is the villain. That's right. Daredevil can't sense. Hope it's good. All the roids. Hit Bruce Willis fast, just like the time. And the last scene in Breaking Bad raised the bar for TV and streaming. Breaking Bad, yeah, raised the bar for network TV, period. I think for sure. Like, I didn't even fuck with network TV before Breaking Bad. Mad Men, I think, was before Breaking Bad. That I definitely watched. That might have been the first network TV show that I got into. It's hard to say. I hate network TV, bro. I hate it. Like, any TV show I watch is on HBO or Showtime or something like that. Hate network TV. I don't watch CWs or none of that stuff. But A&E, AMC, Better Call Saul, those shows, they're like Sons of Anarchy. They've done some decent shit that I've gotten, that they've developed. Yeah. Somehow, 2024 is just like the year of Gambit, man. Like, you have what's his name? Channing Tatum, coming out in the Daredevil and Wolverine joint. Gambit in X-Men 97. It's beautiful. I think every superhero fan has their favorite X-Men, and a lot of people, it's Gambit. And because there's so many options, there's a lot of variety in which, characters, fans gravitate towards the most. Obviously, Wolverine gets more than, his fair share of the fandom. He's my favorite character, and, now, but used to be Gambit. And Magneto is objectively, I think, the consensus of the favorite, but there are plenty of people who opt for the more obscure characters like, Sync and Monet and, stuff like that. But there's one character that a lot of people like, that is Gambit. A lot of people dig Gambit. And in 2024, from the animation to the live action to the comics, it's definitely been the year of Gambit. He's definitely been, very popular. Definitely one of the coolest looking characters. Um, but yeah, his breakout years started early in the debut of the X-Men 97 animated series. And it's funny because the original X-Men, the animated series, is a large part of the reason that a lot of people, like Gambit as a character. But uh, he never really had a defined role in that series. And he always seemed, second fiddle to Wolverine and the X-Men's other resident, bad boy. But uh perhaps because of that, it never felt like the original series developed Gambit as much. They just never really did a lot with him. But that's one area where X-Men 97, clearly wanted to make up for that. And I dug that moment where in the first episode where Gambit charges up Wolverine's claws, and it was clear that the writers and the animators knew how to handle having two, dope mutants on the screen at the same time. And the team up power move was awesome. And that was just dope. But at the same time, X-Men 97 also worked to give Gambit the attention that he was denied in the original series. For sure. Season 1 gets a lot of mileage out of Gambit. Not just as the team's, suave, carefree member, but also in his possibly doomed romance with Rogue. The Gambit Rogue Magneto triangle supplanted the classic Wolverine Jean Grey Cyclops dynamic. And seeing Gambit continue his uphill battle to woo Rogue, all the while knowing they can never truly, touch, gives both the characters a sort of tragic, aura of tragedy that leads to what is undoubtedly season 1's finest hour. And remember it. No sooner does Rogue reject Magneto's advances and finally choose Gambit than the island of Genosha is attacked by a giant Master Mold Sentinel, and Gambit, can prove himself now, and basically, makes the brave one-man stand against the Master Mold and heroically sacrifices his life to save his people. And as far as death scenes go, it was peak. It was peak. Among other things, X-Men 97 season 1 succeeds in drawing that hard line between Wolverine and Gambit and allowing, Gambit to fully stand on his own. And I think the best part of that series is not done. We definitely have more to come. I can't wait to see the apocalypse that they're hinting about, and resurrecting Gambit as the Horseman of Death. That would just be really, really, really dope. And you had Channing Tatum. Gambit is not a character who was particularly well served by Fox's X-Men movie, okay, or that whole universe. But the same could be said for pretty much any X-Men who isn't Wolverine, Magneto, or Mystique. But in all the Fox X-Men movies, we only got one Gambit appearance in the critically reviled X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is a movie that I liked at the time. Like, I really dug it just because of the characters that were in it. Blob, just that the nostalgia, or not the nostalgia, but the just the characters, bro, just the comic bookiness. Like, you can say that movie sucks, but it's fan service. Like, it really, in my opinion, we had a whole bunch of characters that we never got to see, that they never did, and I thought they did them pretty well. But still, Taylor Kitsch's Gambit, certainly the least of that prequel's problems. In another better film, it's easy to see Kitsch thriving in the role, but sadly, it was never to be. But leave it to Deadpool and Wolverine, another fan service movie that I absolutely loved, and finally, in my opinion, got to see Wolverine for the first time ever in live action. What do I mean by that? But definitely brought justice to Gambit. The hair, not so much. I don't know what the fuck they were doing with that hairstyle. Was it to be funny? I don't know. Channing Tatum, please tell us. What was that haircut? What was that? That's not, what is that? I mean, you could have done better. I don't know. It just looked too clean. I don't know. But anyways, he's been really wanting to do that. Channing Tatum, to be Gambit. Actually, he's like a big fan of Gambit. Wanted to play Gambit and all this shit. And but yeah, he definitely rocked it. He definitely killed it. And if Taylor Kitsch's Gambit was like a toned down, to fit the more grounded tone setting of the, the movie universe or whatever, Channing gave us the full comic book version, the comic book look, the the whatever, I don't even know what you call it, the cowl, whatever that Gambit has that just like all over his head. That just it's stuff that live action, they wouldn't do because they would think it wouldn't look right or whatever. They did it, and I think, like I said, if they had done the hair better, it would have been fucking perfect. But yeah, hella cool character. I'm just happy to see Gambit finally getting his due, man, because like one of the most underrated character, man, like such an underrated character. And then X-Men comics right now have had their own, uh renaissance in recent years with 2019's House of X, Powers of X, completely reshaped the franchise and the mutant status quo in the Marvel universe. Brought me back to comics, like straight up. Like House of X, Powers of X, I started buying, reading, and collecting comics again. Like, no, like after decades. Like that's how good that story was to me. Jonathan Hickman, like I started back reading all his stuff, and that shit got me back into comics, dog. Like straight up. Like all this shit I bought since that shit came out. The ambitious storyline, though, that finally had the mutants running shit, which I knew was not going to last. It never does. Definitely had to end this year. And in many ways, it's been hard to accept, the return to a more traditional status quo. But, and how traditional it is, it's, the new stuff, I haven't really delved too deep into it. I've read a little bit of it, but I'm not really finished with some of the stuff before, so I'm not really to it yet. I have stacks to get through. That being said, some X-Men have really, benefited from Marvel's current From the Ashes direction. That's what it's called, From the Ashes. Let's see if I have one. Oh, here's one. So all the new titles say From the Ashes at the top, like that. Right there. From the Ashes, a new beginning. And they're talking about Krakoa and all that. Oh yeah. 100%, bro. They really did, and they fucking nailed it, bro. Like I said, I've said this before, like that was the first time we ever saw Wolverine in live action. And people are like, what the fuck are you talking about, right? Like, what are you talking about? That scene where he puts on the mask and, slashes through that crowd of Deadpool clones, Deadpools, all the different Deadpools. That scene, bro, like I swear to God, I teared up. I swear to God, I teared up. Like that shit just hit me. Like that was the best shit ever. And seeing him slash through them dudes and bust through the glass and then land, and he was just like, and he just had he had the mask on. It was mostly CGI. I doubt Hugh Jackman was in that scene at all. Probably some stunt double. But that was the first time we really saw the Wolverine from the comics in a movie. All the Hugh Jackman stuff, you can love Hugh Jackman, you can love his Deadpool or his Wolverine, whatever, and that's great, and it's a great Wolverine. It's not the comic book Wolverine, and that's okay, but it's not this guy. Hugh Jackman never played this, but this was in Deadpool and Wolverine in that one scene, and that's what I'm talking about. So, but yes, absolutely knew what characters we wanted and definitely gave them to us in their comic book form. And that's what I loved about the Gambit. But yeah, man. Yes, the Krakoan Age was a hugely ambitious undertaking, and it goes without saying that not every one of the massive ensemble cast of mutants was truly able to shine during those 5 years, though many of them did, and even a lot of the obscure ones, and a lot of bad guys playing good guys and all that stuff. But Gambit is one character who often felt trapped on the back burner during the Krakoa era. But that's definitely changed in a big way now in the new From the Ashes era, which is great. It's great for Gambit fans. And these days, Gambit is one of the main protagonists of Gail Simone and David Marquez's Uncanny X-Men. Gail Simone has always shown a knack for working with misfit heroes and villains. Her Secret Six run is one of the best, or one of my favorite DC projects. Catman and all that shit. Like, hopefully we'll get to see some of that. And Gambit plays directly to her strengths as a writer, so it really works out. But you don't really have to look any further than Uncanny X-Men #1 to see why Gambit has become one of the highlights of this new era in X-Men comics. Because in that issue, he, Rogue, and Wolverine are tasked with fighting a dragon sleeping atop a temple in Teotihuacan. And when Wolverine's unbreakable claws and Rogue's super strength prove no match for this, massive dragon, Gambit takes it upon himself to save the day. Not by overpowering the dragon, but by stealing its eye and forcing the beast to strike a bargain. Ever the thief. Because that's what Gambit is. He's a thief. And he's historically been a tough nut for the X-Men writers to crack, I think. They definitely never really knew what to do with him in the right way, in my opinion, because first, is he a villain, right? Was he a bad guy at first? Like, they didn't know. And then, like, he's a thief, but is he a good guy? Like, they never knew really how to do that, in my opinion. Like with the animated series, there's often a problem where he feels secondary to Wolverine as the team's resident badass. And there's rarely been a consistent sense of purpose and direction for Gambit over the years. But thanks to Simone and Marquez, Gambit is really coming into his own as one of the big power players in the From the Ashes era. So, all around, all mediums, Gambit is definitely having his year. And so I thought that was pretty dope. We do finally have a positive Blade update, as new listing points to Fantastic Four First Steps title change. It's been a long time coming, but we may have some positive news about where things stand with the long-awaited Blade reboot. There are also rumblings that the Fantastic Four First Steps has a new title. If you're a Blade fan, and if you know anything about Marvel movies, that's where it all began. And it's fair to say the past 5 years have not been easy for you. Mahershala Ali was announced as Blade's Daywalker, or the MCU's Daywalker, Blade, at San Diego Comic-Con in 2019, only for the pandemic to come along and the following year and delay Marvel Studios' plans for the movie. Since then, the Blade reboot has lost various writers and directors, even a few actors like Lantern star Aaron Pierre, who is now playing Jonathan Stewart in Lanterns. Can't wait. Just last month, though, it was formally removed from the MCU release calendar, to everyone's chagrin. And we haven't been expecting it to drop in 2025, of course, but I don't think that was ever a thing. But a lot of fans are let down. Another year, we're not getting Blade. On the plus side, we may have finally have a positive update, courtesy of Scooper Daniel Richtman, taking to X. He said, Mahershala Ali likes the new draft, and they're close to finding a director. It's the MCU film most likely to go into production next year, with nothing else as close. So aside from the ones that we already have, Captain America Brave New World, Thunderbolts, and the Fantastic Four, it seems like Spider-Man 4 and Blade are all that's left for this saga, other than the Avengers films. End quote. With Spider-Man 4 likely to be a multiversal movie with the 3 Spider-Man again, or maybe a black suit Spidey, Blade would be a fitting palette cleanser, I think, to drop in the vacant November 6th, 2026 slot. And it's also possible we'll get it sooner than expected on February 13th, 2026, particularly if Richtman's claims are close to accurate. So hey, fingers crossed. In other news, following yesterday's Herbie story, Fantastic Four First Steps may have a new title, as a Redditor spotted in the Puppeteer that the Puppeteer has removed the robot from his LinkedIn profile and lists the movie not with a title announced at Comic-Con, but as Fantastic Four First Contact. Now, First Steps I thought was a shitty title. What am I? I imagine like a diaper. I don't know. Fantastic Four First Contact. That works. I can rock with that. I feel Galactus coming. First Contact. It's Galactus. Yeah, that works. It would be strange to alter the movie's title, though, after announcing it in San Diego. But let's face this would not be the first time this has happened, right? We had Agatha all along, had many monikers. Captain America New World Order is now Brave New World. Avengers The Kang Dynasty is now Avengers Doomsday. So it's not like something they would never do. And we'll see. But as filmmaker Matt Shakeman and the Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige are both huge Trekkies, this alteration may be a nod to the 1996 Star Trek movie. Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, Ebon Moss Bacharach, the whole cast there of the Fantastic Four First Steps or First Contact. Also, we'll have Ralph Ineson as Galactus, Julia Garner as Shalla-Bal, Silver Surfer, and Paul Walter Hauser as John Malkovich as Paul Walter Hauser. Natasha Lyonne is in a mystery role. I'm really confused as to why they've not cast a Norrin Rad. How can you have Shalla-Bal without Norrin Rad? How would that even be possible? The only way Galactus would ever know Shalla-Bal is through Norrin Rad. It makes no sense. In the comics, which everyone's going to run to, well, in the comics, there was a girl Silver Surfer. Okay. In a like fucking one-off what if type shit, they had the twin surfers where it was Norrin Rad and his girl, his wife, Shalla-Bal, both made surfers by Galactus, and they went around together as the Heralds. Okay? At no time, in no comic has there been a comic where Shalla-Bal is Galactus's one and only herald. It makes no. It's a stupid concept. You clearly can see that whoever wrote this and whoever's writing this is not a comic reader, not a comic fan, probably never cared about comics in any way, and just got this job because it's a big Marvel movie. When you cast Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, I think you don't read comics. You clearly are just trying to cast the hot popular actor at the time, right? And check a box, right? Because he's I believe he's Latino, right? So yeah, there you go. Clearly you don't read comics. So I'm not like no Norrin Rad. It's like I can't wait to see Galactus. If he looks anything as good as like those Celestials looked, cool. Like I can't wait. That's gonna be cool, and I'm sure there's gonna be great stuff within this movie. So like, yeah, I'm gonna watch it and enjoy parts of it probably, but I'm probably gonna be annoyed by a lot of it too. Hopefully, And out of all the Marvel movies, guys, out of all the Marvel stuff that we've got slated, the only one that I have real hope that it's gonna be good are the Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. Only because the Russo brothers are making them. It's the only reason I think they're going to be decent. Nothing Marvel has done since Endgame, in my opinion, has been worth shit. I'm not like, none of it has been good to me. None of it. None. I'm not even gonna. None. Nope. No. No, none of it was up to par. None of it was up to par. None of it. No. Trying. I'm really trying. Like, oh man, like it's sad. Like, only because I'm a Marvel comic fan am I still like even entertaining these movies. Like, I still hope that they'll pull something good out of it, but they haven't. Not in forever. Not in forever. But yeah, Russo brothers were actually already working on a movie with Robert Downey Jr. before they got the call to do the Doomsday Avengers Doomsday. What do you say, Russo brothers? Oh, he was like, yeah, they'd already been working on another project with Downey before they got the call. He said, we're all very close. He said, we've been working on another project before Marvel approached all of us. So we're working on another project with Robert. And there was a story that evolved through conversations that we got very excited about, because it's always got to be the story. And that's why I fuck with the Russo brothers. That's why, because they care about story. Where clearly nothing since Endgame has given half a shit about story. None of it was written well. So at least we got that. It's unclear what this secret project was, that what this movie was. They're not telling us anything about it, but they might return to it once they wrap up Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, because they stopped whatever it was they were doing to do the Avengers movies, of course. As for Avengers Doomsday, all Joe Russo would say is that we can expect something, he said, really explosive with the movie. He said, why would we come back if we didn't feel like we had a story that had the possibility of being on equal footing with Infinity War and Endgame, unless there's a kernel there for an idea that's really explosive. End quote. And Robert Downey Jr. has previously explained that the Doctor Doom train started rolling about a year ago when Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige sat down with the actor and his wife and producing partner Susan Downey. Downey said probably a year ago, because Feige and I have kept in touch. We're pals. Favreau and Feige and I kept in touch. I'm close with the Russo brothers. We have other business we're doing. So there's this little group of fellow travelers. And I had this instinct that I wanted to go to Bob Iger. And I had an idea outside of the cinematic universe for how I could be of service to what's going on in the parks and all their location-based energy. And Susan and I were sitting down with Feige at one point, and he said, it just keeps occurring to me that if you were to come back, and Susan was like, wait, come back as what? And Johnny continued, and then we both realized over time that it was another thing that it just disproves any doubt about anyone could ever have about that guy. He's very sophisticated, creative thinker about how can we not go backwards? How can we not disappoint expectations? How can we continue to beat expectations? And he brought up Victor Von Doom. I looked into the character and I was like, wow. And later on he goes, let's get Victor Von Doom right. Let's get that right. Oh, let's get Victor Von Doom right. Let's get that right. End quote. Yeah. So man, it's fucking exciting, bro. I think that's gonna be the best thing we've seen since Endgame. I think it's gonna be in my opinion, the only good thing that we've seen since Endgame. I don't think we've seen anything good since Endgame, so that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. And that's our show, guys. Thank you guys for coming and chopping it up and hanging out with us, man. Shout out to Stu Dog. Really, really hope that everything is good with the fam. Howard Stark all over. We'll see. We will see, man. But yeah, man, you guys, you know what time it is. It's every Wednesday and every Saturday at 7 p.m. Come chill with us, chop it up with us, hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you guys this Saturday at 7 p.m. Be safe and peace.